Yeah, I'm a subcontractor. I've been subcontracting to David Webster's for approximately 10 years. I employ five people plus myself, yeah. We was excavating an old raft route that had failed on a structural test. One of the couple of Webster's guys had took the column away because it was a structural failure, and myself and my colleague was there to remove the base. Whilst excavating through the raft base itself, gunning it out, I was unfortunate to hit the cable which was lying below it, which actually blew me 6 foot across the footpath into the road, which I was burned and on fire. I was fortunate enough that my colleague was with me, who managed to pour lots of cold water on me. It was a very cold morning. He was pouring water on me. The only thing was that as quick as he was pouring it on me, my skin was actually burning again.
I just remember the day that the accident was, I was moving house. I took a phone call to obviously say that my dad had an accident. Just panicked straight away, didn't know. Like, dropped everything I had and just got straight on the train to the hospital that they were locating him at.
I can't honestly remember exactly what happened, but 1 minute I was in the hole on the gun, and the next minute I was in the road 6 to 7 feet away from where I was excavating, on fire, rolling around the road on fire. Yeah.
I remember firstly a massive loud bang, sounded like a sort of a gun going off, and a massive flash. I was only standing a couple of feet away from him as well at the time, and just remember Doug rolling around in the road on fire, like his actual high-vis was on fire. When it actually happened, the flames came out of the ground and they were sort of like head height. He was actually leaning over the gun like this, so he took the full brunt of it in the face, and his clothes were on fire, his jumper was on fire, everything around him was just melting to his skin. So, it was just absolutely terrible, and I'll never forget it, ever. To be honest with you, I didn't know what to do at first. I didn't know what to expect because I've never seen anything like that before. But what I did mainly was I got some water off of the back of the lorry and started pouring water over him to try and put out the flames that was on his high-vis.
Well, it was ironic because I was probably 500 yards from the hospital, so we literally walked to the hospital, and where they put me straight away. They took me straight in on ECG, and was obviously checking me for a shock or a burn through my body. Lucky enough, I didn't get a shock. Obviously, I blew the ball's fuses, which was pretty lucky for me.
The manager came out from DW to come and see us, and when he came out, he got me a cup of tea with a lot of sugar in it, sort of sort me out because I was like shaking like a leaf, and he took me actually back home. He could give me a lift home while Doug was in the hospital, but on the way back, all I was thinking about was how Doug was in the hospital, and because his face was burnt to pieces. So
the first time I see him, it wasn't that bad. The next day we see him, his face just seemed to blow up like bigger and bigger and bigger, and the swelling got worse, and obviously the burns got worse, they got darker. It got to the point, I remember sitting on the bed next to him sort of thing, got to the point where he couldn't even eat. He was drinking through a straw because he couldn't open his mouth. I took my little girl round to see him, which is obviously his granddaughter. 3 days later after the accident, took her into the bedroom to see him sort of thing, explained that like he's poorly and he's had an accident, and she completely freaked. She just didn't even recognise him at all, wouldn't go nowhere near him sort of thing, wouldn't even give him a kiss goodbye or touch his hand.
that was the worst bit, seeing him the day after, like, and it's just, it still hurts me now, like, just thinking about it, it is horrible to actually see that happen to one of your boss or your friend, like, that's the worst part. So physically,
I've been not too bad. I'm still under hospital treatment. Like this, nearly 2.5 years on. I've got an operation this month, funny enough, up my nose, where the flash burnt all the veins in my nose, because let's say it hit me in the face. So I'm still undergoing hospital treatment, up until now. So it's like 2.5 years on, and I'm still, suffering from it, but not badly, nothing too catastrophic.
To be honest with you, it affected me more later on in the weekend. It happened on the Friday, and over the weekend I kept replaying it over in my mind, what had actually happened and how close it could have been from Doug to dying. I spoke to my girlfriend, and that I explained to her that I didn't really want to go back to work. I didn't really want to do this job again. To be honest, after seeing that, I'd never seen anything like that before, especially like someone being burnt, like, it was just horrible. It was absolutely horrible, and I would not want to see that again.
it does affect the way I work. It's constantly in the back of your mind, you know, like especially when you come across the same sort of scenario, which like a cable in the ground or something like that, you know, you're constantly thinking in the back of your mind. And when you're on the gun for a long period of time or something like that, you just think to yourself, it's always there. It's always there. It's definitely like a reminder.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, now we use the Cat and Jenny all the time now. We have to use the stat drawings and everything else, and everything just has to be done safely and by the book instead of trying to cut corners and stuff like that.
Do what you're told. Read your drawings, use your cat, and definitely dig with caution. And if you come across something like I did, a solid lump of concrete, you know, just you're better off to go back to your manager or your line manager or your supervisor and say, I've come across this problem, and go back to the council, and hopefully they can sort it from there. Yeah, definitely.
Just basically, just make sure you follow all procedures. Cat, you've got the right PPE. Cat, like obviously use your Cat and Jenny correctly. You've got your right PPE, the right digging tools, and the right stats. And obviously just be very careful in what you're doing.
We all think it's something that's slowing us down, but it's there for us and it's there for a reason, and the reasons are for safety. I'm pretty lucky that I got away with what I got away with.
Always make sure that you're doing things safe, and if it's not safe to do it, don't do it at all.